Man, the Bluegrass native is going to visit Louisville? Kentucky's biggest rival, nobody expected this. Could this be a threat to him coming to Kentucky? Should Pope keep an eye on this? Let's break down the news. Tay Kinney, one of the top high school prospects and a name that has drawn national attention, is set to visit Louisville, Kentucky's biggest rival. The news, reported by Joe Tipton of On3, brought a mix of surprise and speculation among Wildcats fans. But does this really pose a threat to Kentucky? Or is there enough reason to believe that the Bluegrass native could still don the blue and white? Tay Kinney, an overtime elite, OTE, has not only demonstrated exceptional talent on the court, but has also established himself as one of the most coveted pieces in the 2026 class. Averaging an impressive 20.1 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, and 2.3 steals last season, he is exactly the type of player any college program dreams of having. And when it comes to Kentucky, under coach Mark Pope, the search for dynamic and versatile point guards is a top priority. The fact that Kinney is visiting Louisville is certainly causing discomfort among Kentucky fans. After all, we are talking about the Wildcats' biggest historical rival, a rivalry that transcends basketball and is ingrained in the state's culture. However, before sounding the alarm, it is important to note that official visits are not definitive commitments. In fact, they are part of a natural recruiting process, especially for high-level athletes like Kinney. He visited Purdue in January, has a trip to Oregon scheduled for September, and, while not publicly announced, is expected to take an official visit to Kentucky soon. This shows that he is keeping his options open and carefully evaluating each program. It is also worth noting that Kinney has a clear connection to Kentucky. He has taken several unofficial visits to Lexington and has expressed admiration for the work of Mark Pope. In a recent interview with On3, he was emphatic in acknowledging the positive impact Pope has had on the program. "They had a great year, you know. They made it to the finals with all the transfers," Kinney said. "You know, they brought in Jasper Johnson. I like what Pope did with that program." Those words not only reflect respect for the coach, but also for the Wildcats' upward trajectory under his leadership. Another crucial point is the close relationship between Kinney and Jasper Johnson, a Kentucky freshman and his former teammate at OTE. Johnson, in fact, has been a big supporter of Kinney, following in his footsteps and joining the Wildcats. "Jasper is always bugging me, just saying, 'Come to Kentucky. Come to Kentucky,'" Kinney said with good humor. That closeness could be a significant differentiator in the decision-making process, especially considering the importance that team environment plays in choosing such a young player. There's also the coaching factor. Mark Pope, since taking over at Kentucky, has shown a unique ability to attract talent and build a system where they can thrive. His infectious energy and approachable style were highlighted by Kinney in his interview. "Coach Pope is very outgoing. He's very funny, but he's also very nice," the point guard said. That kind of personal connection could be decisive in a recruitment as competitive as this one. It's worth mentioning the weight of the Kentucky brand in the college basketball landscape. Even though Louisville is historically a strong opponent, the Wildcats' global appeal is undeniable. With a passionate fan base, top-notch facilities, and a history of developing players for the NBA, Kentucky offers an unparalleled platform for Kinney to maximize his potential both on and off the court. The established relationship with Mark Pope, the influence of Jasper Johnson, and the program's winning legacy all put the Wildcats in a prime position in this race. In the recruiting world, nothing is guaranteed until the official signing, but does Kentucky have an edge in this? We hope so. What do you think? After a challenging season, Stoops is determined to prove that he still has much more to offer. Mark Stoops, the man who has led the Wildcats for more than a decade, has become the epicenter of a new story: the motivated Mark Stoops. This expression, which began as an ironic joke on social media, has taken on a life of its own and, paradoxically, has ended up becoming something of an echo chamber for Kentucky fans. After all, what else is there left when the outlook seems bleak? After a disappointing 2024 campaign, with just 4 wins in 12 games and a heartbreaking loss to Louisville at Kroger Field, many expected Stoops to offer concrete and immediate answers to the program's problems. Instead, he offered something different, something deeper, a sense of urgency, an inner fire that promises to light the path to collective redemption. Ever since that fateful night when Louisville emerged victorious, Stoops has been tirelessly repeating his message of motivation. In interviews, press conferences, and even in casual conversations, he has been quick to emphasize that he is more motivated than ever. This statement, while initially met with skepticism, has gradually made its way into the consciousness of fans. And why? Because deep down, everyone knows that Stoops is no stranger to hard work. He has proven that before, leading Kentucky to memorable victories and important bowl appearances. Now, faced with a massive roster overhaul, with nearly half of the 2024 team being replaced by new talent coming through the transfer portal, his motivation takes on an even more significant tone. The truth is that Kentucky faces monumental challenges. The offseason has been marked by a sense of uncertainty, with few standout recruits and a drastic overhaul of the roster. Key players have departed, leaving holes that need to be filled by unknown players. In this context, the figure of Mark Stoops emerges as a beacon of stability. His experience, his renewed passion, and his willingness to acknowledge mistakes and seek solutions are invaluable qualities for a program that urgently needs to regain the trust of its fan base. Of course, the self-deprecating humor that has emerged on social media should not be ignored. The Mark Stoops motivated meme is, in some ways, a reflection of the frustration on the part of BBN. However, it is also a unique opportunity for the program to embrace this idea and turn it into something positive. Imagine promotional posters with Stoops' face and the word "motivated" written in bold letters, or psychedelic videos on social media highlighting his inspirational quotes. This would not only create a genuine connection with fans, but also serve as a reminder that even in the most difficult times, there is a resilient force driving the team forward. And here's the kicker. While other programs might rely on flashy stars or stories of personal overcoming to garner attention, Kentucky has something equally powerful. A coach who, despite all odds, remains steadfast in his commitment to success. Josh Caddis and Jager Burton, two of the most experienced players on the current roster, may not have the charisma of a Will Levis or a Benny Snell, but they embody the spirit of hard work and dedication that defines this team. The marketing around motivated Mark Stoops may seem unusual, but that's exactly what makes it so special. In a world where everything seems calculated and marketed down to the last detail, there's something refreshing about embracing the simplicity of an authentic message. It's not about promising instant results or creating false expectations. It's about recognizing that sometimes what really matters is the willingness to fight, to improve, to give your all for the greater good. We can choose to believe that Mark Stoops' drive is genuine, and that it could be the catalyst for a turnaround for the program. Or we can continue laughing at the irony, without realizing that, in that laughter, there is a hint of hope. What do you think about this year in football? Comment.